Good morning, Oracles. So, will we see another MOONday today for Tesla? Well, as of the time of this recording, pre-market we are down to 986, down about 3.5%. So I'm leaning towards we're probably going to have a red day today. In the past, we have seen many a time that Elon or Tesla will announce something late in the week, and then we see a random sell-off afterwards, like a sell the news type of situation, but then the following Monday, the stock pops. It's almost like the market needed the weekend to digest all of the information and news that they got to make their decision to realize, oh, this really is a big deal, let's buy in and have the stock run up. So are we going to get that today or not? Recently, we have been seeing that crypto has been a leading indicator for pretty much the entire stock market, and Tesla usually swings more than the broader market. Well, over the weekend, and yesterday in particular, saw a little bit of a divergence. We saw most of crypto coming down, but Doge was running. Doge may have been running based on news that Elon was stating that Twitter may be having people get paid in Dogecoin through Twitter. So that may have been the reason why. And as of this morning, crypto is down hard, and that is another indicator that we may see a red day today. And we do have CPI data coming out tomorrow, so that may throw some uncertainty in the market today and tomorrow morning. My predictions previously had been we are going to see a sell-off continuing. Unless CPI data comes in lower than expected and shocks everyone, I have a feeling that the inflation data that we get are just going to support the Fed's decision to raise rates even higher, potentially a 50 basis point hike in May on May 4th and 5th. So that may end up happening. That could be the uncertainty in the market that brings us down. If we do not get that, then we might see the run today. So it's going to be kind of an iffy day. We're going back into what feels like an uncertain sentiment in the market as far as inflation goes. So if we start to get more news on top of this, like information and news coming out of Russia and Ukraine, again, that could put us into a more negative spiral. This is something we've talked about before, something that I was kind of anticipating, looking for another bottom coming and another downward trend for more buying opportunities. This isn't any FUD that I'm trying to spread of any means. This is just looking at things realistically where we're at. And as far as I'm concerned, it is actually a good thing because it's going to give us another great buying opportunity ahead of the split. And looking at some positive news, we saw Elon tweeting over the weekend, exciting times ahead, in reference to a tweet about the Cybertruck. So I think it's going to be way more than just the Cybertruck. You know, he had mentioned how we have a massive wave of new products coming next year, and there's a lot of things that he hasn't even talked about yet. So thinking about how exciting it is to have the Cybertruck, the Semi, the Roadster, potentially Optimus coming next year, what else haven't they talked about that could be just as exciting? You know, we talked about a dedicated robotaxi. As far as I'm concerned, that's 2 to 3 years out. But there's other things that he hasn't talked about. We also know that there's more factories that are in the works. There's a good chance that they may be announcing at least 2 factories this year. They know the format that they want to have for their factories now, and they can now unleash those in copy and paste form, as Meet Kevin had said on his video. You know, it's just now they just have to build it. They have the capital coming in. They have the money flowing into the company. They can start just cranking out factories. And the more factories they can crank out now, the faster they're going to get ahead of everyone else. You know, imagine us having 6 or 7 gigafactories that are producing EVs at a scale of 500,000 a piece a year by the time we hit 2025. That's going to be blowing everyone else out of the water, because I think 2025 is going to be a turning point for EVs. And we are also looking for Cathie Wood and ARK to be unveiled their latest price targets. Those should be coming out very soon. So that will be interesting, because usually when they come out with their price targets, it definitely moves the market because they see things in a different way than a lot of other people do. They see things in a way that most of us as retail investors see the company as well. So it'll be nice to have them give their support and feedback. And they haven't unveiled a price target that actually involves anything to do with Optimus, Tesla bots, or anything of that nature. So I'm wondering if they're going to include any of that. I mean, since their last time, which is about a year ago, I think it was, there's been a lot of things that's been going on in Tesla, so I'm very curious as to see what their price targets are and what their take is on all of the information we have been given over the past year. Looking at the data, I am looking forward to being able to buy quite a bit more Tesla at cheaper prices for the next month or so. I think we're going to get a couple of pops along the way, depending on what news we get, depending on how Q1 earnings call go, depending on if we get news from a proxy about a split. So I think we're going to see some good positive information out of Tesla. But if you look back to the first quarter, we got a lot of great news out of Tesla. I mean, heck, Q1 earnings call gave us a lot of great news, but the stock still continued to fall. So when you have a macro environment in the condition that it's in, when you have a stock that is heavily manipulated by the market and big money, doesn't matter what ends up happening, what news we get, we might see a sell-off. And again, pay attention to the fundamentals, because if we are seeing great fundamental news out of Tesla, that is just a signal for a great buying opportunity if it is selling off. The only real concern that I may have right now in the near term is Shanghai. How long is it going to be closed for? And can Berlin and Austin make up for their loss in production? I don't think they can. And I don't know how long Shanghai is going to be closed. Definitely a hit on the company itself, but it is a very near-term hit that I guarantee 6 months from now is going to be a blip on the radar that we have all forgotten about. So take this in a very near-term situation as a negative catalyst for the company and for the stock, but that is all it is. It is only a one-time near-term issue that is going on in Shanghai at the moment. And that is it. It is not going to be anything that drags on, nothing that's going to affect us further down the road. So this is going to be clear. And not only that, but even if for some reason, let's say 6 months or a year from now, we have that same issue going on in Shanghai, at that point, Berlin and Austin will be higher up on their ramp stage. So we will be in a much better position to offset that. And we also got news late last night that Elon has decided not to join the board over at Twitter. So I don't know if that's going to affect the stock at all today. I think today's movement is going to be mainly macro environment based because of the CPI data coming out tomorrow. Thoughts of a recession coming. We've got JP Morgan's earnings coming up on Wednesday. And when you have a big bank reporting earnings, they gave a good indication as to what they think the future is going to be as far as consumer spending goes, inflation data, possible recession. So we have a lot of uncertainty in the macro environment that's going to be pulling the entire stock down today, which is why we see it reflected in the stock price pre-market right now. So let me know in the comments, do you think we are going to continue being red as we are pre-market, or do you think we are going to get a turnaround and we will end up with a MOONday? Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support and feedback. If you have not subscribed, please do so down below. Sign yourself up for notifications. I am over on Twitter at OracleTim1. I share all the latest Tesla news, pertinent stock market information, and all of my daily trades. Thank you so much. Have a great one.